playing at Lady Macbeth now, are we?
What?
Hanging around Malone's grave in broad daylight? You're lucky it was our Dawn who found you.
She just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, and caught you saying your prayers. We agreed that she wasn't to know.
I had no choice.
It's bad enough that she knows we moved him. What the heck were you doing?
Malone might have been a monster, but he was a human being once.
Yeah, and if he'd have had his way, to be Dawn that was 6 feet under. The bloke's dead and you still can't let go.
When he was in the churchyard, at least I knew he was safe. But now, I can't rest. I had to go back to make sure he hadn't been found.
Get a grip. He's buried. He's not coming back.
I see him every time I close my eyes. He haunts me, Will.
Then stop him sharpish. Unless you want to just play about with your phone.
It's Charles. He's not answering my calls. He's going to see the bishop today. He's noticed that the grave in the churchyard has been disturbed.
Well, you need to stop him. If you don't shut him down, then it's over. And it isn't just you that'll be paying.
Yesterday, Anne, I never thanked you.
Oh, no need. It's enough that Millie turned up. I'm glad she's safe.
A bit washed out. You okay?
Yeah, just knackered. Didn't sleep much, that's all.
Well, if you need any time off, then.
Dawn?
I don't. I'm good. See you at work.
See ya.
Do one, Dad.
Talk to me, please.
What about you and Harriet shifting a corpse?
Look, it was either that or they'd have done the exhumation and found Malone.
Anyone could have seen you.
We were careful.
Harriet was acting like a crazy person when I found her. Crying, praying. She's proper losing it, Dad. If Kim or Jamie had seen her.
I've had a word with her. She won't be going back there again.
Well, if she doesn't land us in it, then Charles will. Or do you think he's not going to notice that you turned over a grave?
Harriet has said that she's dealing with him.
I have to work with them. Kim, Jamie. I have to face them every day. Every time they go out, I'm going to be bricking it.
Have you got a shift on today?
Yes.
Well, call in sick, stay at home and sort your head out.
It's going to take more than a day to sort this out. Kim's always out there on her horses. She could find this any day.
Trust me, I won't let that happen. I will find a way to sort this somehow. All you've got to do is to keep strong, keep your nerve, and forget that Malone ever existed.
Hi.
5 missed calls from your number. What's going on, Harriet?
You been to see the bishop?
Not yet. She's free this afternoon.
Really? There's no need to bother her with this.
A grave has been disturbed. I can't ignore it even if you can. You used to be a police officer. You know this is serious.
That's why I'm asking you to keep this between ourselves. If you go to the police, or the bishop, this won't end well for me.
You're asking me to compromise myself, then I need to know why. What are you hiding, Harriet?
It's no secret that Will and we've had our problems. My mind hasn't been fully on the job, which is partly why you're here.
To support you in any way I can.
The grave, the mess in the churchyard, it's all my fault. The exhumation was requested, so I employed a contractor to do the job before I got the paperwork back. I thought it'll turn up soon enough, but it never did. Early one morning, the lads arrived and started the work.
Without permission. That shouldn't happen. That's why this procedure's in place.
As soon as I realised, I stopped them. The actual coffin wasn't uncovered or disturbed, just the earth above it.
The distress that will be caused to the family.
I feel terrible. I've let my parishioners down, I've let the church down.
The bishop's expecting me. I really should go.
I haven't been functioning as a professional or as a human being. And I've had medical issues. Hormonal. At my age, things change. I've been forgetful, more emotional, less focused.
You've had a lot to deal with. I understand.
And I'm really grateful that you're here to support and assist me. If you tell the bishop and she calls the police in, then I could lose everything. I made an honest mistake, Charles, and I only did that because my personal life was falling apart. Please. Please give me a second chance.
Thank you for your honesty. I think we can leave the matter there.
The bishop?
I'll cancel the appointment. And if you ever need to talk, you know where I am.
Dawn still isn't right, so she'll need to rest up.
Yeah, she can take as long as she needs. I was grateful for her helping me look for Millie yesterday.
I bet you are.
Andrea?
When exactly were you planning on telling me that you thought you'd lost our daughter?
I hadn't. She was playing a game.
So where was she exactly?
She never left the house. She was hiding inside the whole time.
Yeah. Millie's a smart girl. Thought she'd start the new year as she meant to go on by outwitting her father.
Would you have found it so funny if she'd been lost in the woods? Or abducted?
She wasn't lost and there was no drama, OK? So there's nothing to kick off about.
Apart from the fact that you lied, Jamie.
About what? A little girl's idea of a joke?
Listen, you might have neglected Jamie when he was a kid.
That didn't happen.
You used to leave him for hours. Or you paid staff to sit with him while he watched telly. He didn't see you for weeks.
Because I was working. Who do you think paid for all this?
Yeah, and at what cost? What did that do to your son? I don't want that happening to Millie. Thinking that nobody loves her, that she's worthless.
I'm sure Kim did her best for her lad, love, like we all do for our kids.
Yeah, and look how he turned out.
That lad's wanted for nothing.
Apart from love, human kindness, decency. He was never going to get that from a mother who spent most of her time in prison, was he?
I've been inside myself. Do you think I wanted to leave my little girl behind? Every day I was without her, a little bit of me broke inside. When I came out, everything had changed. I'd lost her. I've spent years trying to make that right. But all we can do is our best.
Very chivalrous of you to stick up for me this morning.
Couldn't help myself. When kids are involved, all that should matter is that little soul, and if they're happy or not.
I couldn't agree more. And you got your point across to Andrea so well, you managed to get her to back down, which is a first.
Glad to hear it.
My granddaughter means the world to me, which means I am very, very grateful. I owe you. If there's anything I can ever do.
Well, now you come to mention it, there could be something.
I thought there might be. So what do you want in return?
My old job back?
If only we'd had this conversation earlier. I've just taken on a new member of staff. Someone older, more reliable.
Someone like who?
Will.
What are you doing messing around with that loser? What can he do for you?
He'll make a very good groundsman. Someone I can trust.
So you're giving him my old place then? The cottage?
Not yet, no.
I managed to persuade Charles to drop it. He's not going to go to the bishop or the police.
How did you swing that?
Well, convinced him my life had fallen apart since I split up with your dad. I was beside myself with grief, and I made a mistake with the paperwork. He bought it.
Well, that's okay then. We can forget all about the body that you dumped on Kim Tate's land.
That's right, because you're now looking at her new groundsman.
Groundsman? You can't mow a lawn the size of a matchbox.
She needed an extra pair of hands up at home farm, just for fences, gates, odd jobs and that.
Well, Jamie's not going to like that. It's not that long ago you smacked him one.
What Jamie thinks doesn't matter.
I answered to Kim, nobody else.
And how did you manage to talk her into that?
Andrea went on one slagging Kim off. I bailed in on Kim's side. Andrea backed off. Kim reckon she owed me one and to name my price.
So you jumped at the chance to be a lackey? On call 24/7?
I'd be a fool not to, wouldn't I? Unless you've forgotten where we buried a dead man.
So this way, you can keep him safe. And us.
Yeah, I can go anywhere on the estate whenever I want. All we have to do is to keep our heads down.
And keep our new vicar on side, convince him there's nothing to see here. So from now on, we keep our friends close. Our enemy's closer and our secret's in plain sight. One more mistake, and it'll bring us all down.